up, guys? It's me, Traveling Sista, and I'm back with the second half of this video, okay? This is a Q&A video, and yeah, I don't have much to say but to jump right into it, okay? So, how much money would a person need to purchase land and build a family home? Well, that all depends on where you want to buy your land, what type of house you want to build. It can really range from anything from 15,000 US dollars all the way up, 40, 50, 60, 100,000 US, like, it all depends on your design. But to build a very basic single family home, like the one I showed you guys in the video, it's about 40,000 US dollars, and that includes the price of the land. I should have specified that in my last video. That whole price includes the price of the land too, because you have to purchase the land and build on the land. So you're not only buying the materials to build the home, you're buying the plot, okay? And my fiance just told me that at the bottom of our hill, he saw a sign, because what people do sometimes, and if they want to sell some land, they'll put a sign up in different villages saying, hey, call this number if you want land. We have 15 by 20 meters for 7 million. And that's what this sign says. So 15 by 20 meters. You guys can kind of calculate that out and see how big it is. But for 7 million, let me see, 7 million T shilling. That's 3,077 US dollars. So 3,000 bucks. Not bad for some land, I'm just saying. And then on that land, you can build your home. You can even if it's a land that doesn't suit you, that's, that you feel like it's too small for you, you can even build a business. You can build a home, not necessarily for yourself, but you can build a home and rent it out. That's a very profitable, very lucrative business out here in Tanzania. Renting storefronts to people or renting actual homes to people, that's very lucrative. So yeah, I would say you start off with at least bare minimum 10 to 15,000 US dollars, okay? And then it also depends on what the location is, okay? Now, in Morogoro, where we bought our land, it's not a lot of Morogoro, and it's still developing, little by little. And so, an acre of land could be, an acre of land, you can really find an acre of land in Morogoro for like 200 bucks. You know what I'm saying? And up. So, like, it really just depends on where you go. Now, if you want to buy like some beachfront property in Dar es Salaam or in Zanzibar, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars per acre. That's just the name of the game. And, that's not going to be too different in any country you go in. Everybody wants the waterfront property, and so it's going to be more, okay? So, how do people pay for medical care? And what's the insurance system like? Okay, so from what I've been seeing, the medical care, most people just pay out of pocket, for each time they have a doctor's visit. A lot of people, they do have an insurance system that's similar to the one in the States here, where you pay a monthly premium and stuff like that. But most people don't do that. Most people just, they have their emergency fund, and if they get sick, they take the money and pay for the doctor's visit right then and there. And I don't quite know what the monthly payment for that is, so I can't tell you. That's gonna be something you want to look up and look into when you get here. So, child abductions in Tanzania. So, I have heard of a few cases of child abductions in Tanzania, okay? And I read an article, I believe, about, I think it was sometime last year or back in 2016, where there was a case where there was 2 child abductions, and they were of people who had like a lot of money, and basically it was a case where the person wanted a ransom for the children, and these were 2 different kids, 2 different occasions, nothing, related with each other. But I don't think it happens a lot. I haven't seen a lot or heard a lot about it. It's not a whole lot in the news about it. And from my research, it's just not a whole lot, but it does happen, okay? Yeah, and one thing out here is you just have to really be, mindful, because Tanzania is a place where it's just, everywhere I've went, I felt safe, I felt free, I see little kids like 4 and 5 years old walking like from school and stuff like that in groups, sometimes by themselves, and they have their little school uniform on, so obviously they just came from school. But in situations like that, somebody could easily snatch up a child, easily. But I don't hear about it or see it happening a lot. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but it's just not something that is very prominent. Okay, what are the build quality of the homes, and are they affected by bad weather? Okay, so the build quality of the homes, like I was saying in my previous statement, that all depends on which materials you use, the style of house that that you want to have built. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all, the houses out here, like, they're made of cement. Like, they are hard. They're not made of drywall like they are in America, where a hurricane can come and blow your house down. You know what I'm saying? These are sturdy homes out here. And the build quality all depends on the contractor that you get to build your house. You want to make sure that the electrical work is good. You want to make sure that, especially if you're getting solar panels, the outlets work, everything works. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been a couple of times where I've been in homes, that's our dog. It's been a couple of times where I've been in homes with solar panels and the wiring wasn't done correctly and the outlets only worked sometimes, or they didn't work at all. You just got to make sure whoever is building your house is good, all right? The homes are sturdy, like I said, because they're made of cement. The ceiling is made of drywall. Well, they call it gypsum out here. It's made of gypsum drywall, same thing or whatever. But yeah, these homes are sturdy. The roofs, most of the roofs are made of tin, or they have like this plastic compound type thing, but I don't see a lot of roofs made out of that. Most of the roofs are made out of tin. People paint them. They have different designs too, where you won't even be able to tell. It's not all of them are the traditional metal tin roofs that are like that. Some of them have like really cool modern looking designs. What else should I say about the homes? Oh, okay. So the homes, a lot of the homes in Arusha, right? Some of them, okay, rewind. So how they build most of the homes are either made of brick or cinder blocks, right? And they build a foundation, they stack the blocks, one on top of the other, and then they plaster the walls, right, with cement. And some of the materials that they use to make the cinder blocks and make the cement, it yields mold, right? Now, I'm not talking about the dangerous type of black mold and stuff that you find in homes where they have to, tear up the whole carpet and, do all this crazy stuff to the house. Like, what it is I would say it's more of like a condensation than a mold. So the air up here in Arusha, it's a little more moist than it is down in Dar es Salaam. So what you'll find is these cinder blocks that are built on, ground, built on earth, they will absorb some of the moisture from the earth and kind of sweat out in your house. And yeah, it grows like this type of, I guess you can call it a mold or something, that you just brush off the wall and you wipe it down, but it's nothing dangerous. it won't, it doesn't have any effect whatsoever on people. It's just kind of there. And you can prevent it. It can be prevented. Not all homes have this. It just depends on what type of dirt basically you make or what type of sand you make the cinder blocks or you make the bricks out of. So yeah, you just have to, if you don't want that mold to come in your house, you just got to make sure you build it with a different type of sand, because they have a whole lot of different types of sand and dirt and clay and stuff out here. Some are cheaper than the others, so it just all depends. Are the homes affected by bad weather? I'm gonna just have to say generally no, because these homes are very, very sturdy. And I mean, you don't really have too much bad weather out here. The worst weather I've seen is during rainy season, and it just rains a lot, and that's it. Like, it's not, you won't find really super inclement weather like hurricanes, tornadoes, stuff like that, earthquakes. No. What else? Yeah, just rain. Now the homes that will be affected by the rainy season, there still are a lot of traditional mud homes out here. And if your house is a mud home, it's going to be affected slightly during the rainy season. And that's that. You'll just have to make repairs. If you plaster the home, that will make it a little more durable. But yeah, that's really about it. And they don't, like I said, they don't really have inclement weather out here besides rainy season. Now, one thing I will say is that Arusha is very hilly, because you have Mount Meru, Mount Kilimanjaro, and all the foothills of these mountains. So when you're riding in regions that are very hilly, high altitude, and it rains, you're gonna have a mudslide. And it happens every year. A mudslide comes, and let me think, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year that I was here up in this area, and a mudslide happened in the Karatu region. That's probably about 2.5 hours east of Arusha, and a bus full of children, school children, they went off the side of a mountain. They went down because of the mudslide, and it's really tragic. And that, during the rainy season, that's something that happens. I don't know what to say about it besides be careful, and don't be going up the hills and stuff like that if you really don't have to, because it's really sad, when stuff like that happens. And besides that, sometimes it's just really hot. Like, that's the other weather, I guess you could say, would be inclement weather. But yeah. How long do you think is a sufficient amount of time to spend in each place in Tanzania to decide which place or area is the best for you? Look, I can't tell you that. For me, I knew within a week or two, like, whether an area was for me or not. You could know within a day, because really, after spending about 4 or 5 days in Zanzibar, in Stone Town specifically. Now I'm going to clarify that. Stone Town specifically was not for me. All right. Now other areas of Zanzibar, Kindwa, Paje, all those places are real cool, dope. Like, I could probably spend a lot of time there, but Stone Town specifically to live wasn't for me. It's cool to go, like, for the markets, to the bars, to the restaurants and stuff, but I knew within like 5 days. But I would say spend at least a whole week, because places are completely different during the day and during the night, during the week and the weekends. A place can be completely serene, very calm, quiet during the week, but on the weekends they turn up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a completely different scene from one day to another. So I would say at least spend a week so you could see the whole spectrum of the place and get a feel. But 2 weeks, that's way good. That's way good. And do you have any affordable temporary housing options that you suggest that I consider? And what's the estimate of the rates of these options? Okay, when people ask me that, I tell them Airbnb. There are so many Airbnbs out here, and they're very affordable for from $11 a day on up, and the hotels, a lot of the hotels, they will charge 25,000 T shilling a night, which is, let's say, $11, $10.99, $10.99, yeah, 11 to 15 bucks, and that's a normal price for your very basic hotel room. Now, if you go to stay at a place like Mount Meru Hotel, where it's a little more lavish, then you're going to be paying upwards of like $75 US dollars a night. It all depends on where you stay, but I've stayed, along our travels, like we've stayed in plenty of hotels that were like 25,000 T shilling a night, and they're fine. Basic bed, bathroom, shower, whatever. I'm pretty easy. I don't need a whole lot. So it just depends on your comfort zone and whether you're willing to step out of it, or what your comfort zone even is. But yeah, Airbnbs, hotels, around the same price, and you can usually find them in pretty good areas. Okay. When is the best time/month to purchase affordable flight tickets from America to Tanzania? Now, that one can be really tricky. When I initially came out here to Tanzania, I purchased a one-way ticket from New York City to Dar es Salaam for like $620 bucks. Now, that was a one-way. But certain times of the year, you can find round trip tickets from the East Coast, and that's all I can talk about is from the East Coast. Now, from the West Coast, it's going to be a different price. Chicago, different price. Texas, I can't really tell you how plane tickets, what the price of them are going to be, because it depends on where you're flying from. But I will say that I found round trip tickets from like DC area to Kilimanjaro and Dar es Salaam for around $900 US dollars. But don't wait too long, because those prices are going to go up. The tickets that I was actually looking at, they went up. They actually doubled. They almost doubled within a 3-month range. So, you got to hop on it if you have the money right then and there. I would suggest you hop on those tickets and purchase them when you see the price is respectable. Okay. Now, I will recommend 3 websites, right? Google Flights, google.com/flights has never failed me. What they do is they kind of compile different websites for you and, give you the cheapest price. And, they've never failed me. Another one, Skyscanner. Skyscanner is amazing. They always have the cheapest price. Almost always. It's been like maybe one time, because 9 times out of 10, when I buy my tickets, no matter where I go, I use Skyscanner. They have great prices. But one time I found tickets on Google Flights that was cheaper than Skyscanner, and it was only like $10 or $15 cheaper. But hey, that's a meal. You know what I'm saying? So, So Google Flights, Skyscanner, and Secret Flying. Now, Secret Flying is dope, right? They're always going to have the best prices, but the catch with Secret Flying is that it's like they advertise flight deals, right? So they might have a last minute flight from New York City to Dubai for like $300 US dollars, right? Which is unheard of. But the thing is, you have to fly between this date and that date, and you can only usually stay for like 10 days or something. So you have to be really flexible. And they only go out of certain cities. Like, you can't get that same deal, like a trip to Dubai for $300 if you're flying from Oklahoma City or something. You would have to get to the destination that is on Skyscanner and do it like that. And the prices are so cheap because 9 times out of 10, these deals are because the airline that you're going to be flying on is stopping in a certain place for refueling, for maintenance, or a lot of times they will have what's called an airfare, right? And it's where, let's say, hypothetically, you wanted to travel from Los Angeles to Brisbane, Australia, right? And so, like a first class ticket, shoot, that would be like $10,000. Let's keep it G. Like, it would be about $10,000. And on the website, not Skyscanner, but on, like, you know, the airline website, instead of typing in $10,000, the person typing in the thing made an error and it was for $1,000. They forgot a zero. So guess what? The airline will honor, most of the time the airline will honor that price, and you get a first class ticket, business class or whatever, from LA to Brisbane for $1,000. So you just have to be flexible with it, but I freaking love secret flying, for real. It's amazing. So that's all I really have to say about the tickets. How much money would you suggest I have to migrate and live in Tanzania as a single mother with a teenager? Now, this is a question that I get so much. This is probably the question that I get the most. How much money do I need to migrate to Tanzania? And that all depends. That all depends on so many factors. You know what I'm saying? How long are you really going to be staying? You know, are you going to plan for 6 months? Are you going to plan for a year? Are you going to make this a lifetime trip? Is this a permanent relocation? You know, obviously, if you're going to permanently relocate, I suggest that you do so with either a business plan in mind, something where you can sustain yourself with an online business or a service out here. I've touched on some of those things in previous videos, but if you plan on opening a store, if you plan on doing web design or graphic design, if you plan on, you know, doing agriculture, those things can be profitable, lucrative. Or like I said, if you plan on buying a piece of land and building homes and renting them, very profitable, okay? Whether you plan on being in the gemstone business, all of that, you have to really, really do your research on what can make you money, how you can sustain yourself financially. Or if you're coming out here on a pension, like if you have, you know, your Social Security or retirement or any type of pay that you get, you're good, you know? So, let me see. So that I'm gonna kind of roll into the next point. It depends on how you live, how you plan on living, okay? Before I came out here, I did extensive research about how much the homes were gonna cost. I tried to see like the prices of certain cars. I tried to, you know, find out like the price of the cell phone bill per month. I try to find out every single thing I could. And that's why I'm here too, to help you guys, so you don't have to go here, go there, do like I did, running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Like I'm you know, here to try to give you guys good prices, you know, not good prices, but the price of things, you know. So with me, I probably pay, let's keep a real number here. Per month for my cell phone, okay, let's say I pay 17,000 T-shilling per week. That's $8 per week, right? And that's 32 US dollars a month. 32, let's just say 35. Because the exchange rate fluctuates a little bit every day. So let's just say 35 US dollars for a whole lot of internet. I don't get unlimited, but I did with the 17,000 T-shilling, 15,000 of that T-shilling go to data per week, which with 15,000 T-shilling, I get 13.5 gigabytes, okay? And then I use 2,000 T-shilling to get like your voice and text package. I'm not quite sure how much that is. I'll have to look it up, and I'll probably put it in, a subtitle or something. But yeah, that's for the whole week, because I don't text or talk a lot on my phone. I do use the internet quite a bit. But yeah, so $32 a month for that. You're gonna have to factor in where you want to live, what the cost of living in that area is. Now, if you want to go to Dar es Salaam, and babe, what's that area called? Like in Mbezi Beach, that's expensive, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you want to go live in Mbezi Beach in Dar es Salaam, you're gonna be spending some money. Like I would say, if you're gonna go live in a high, like a luxury area or whatever, I would say plan on spending $1,200 a month, straight up and down. That includes your rent, your food, your transportation, all of that. But if you're gonna just live in a regular middle class neighborhood, it still depends on where you are, because like I said, Dar es Salaam prices differ from Arusha prices. Like, say if you're gonna come up to Arusha and live in a regular neighborhood like this, I don't know, man. Like, I would say probably you could budget yourself for like $600. Yeah, $600 a month, I guess. And that's including everything. Everything, including transportation, food, your home, like your rent, and your electrical, your water, your miscellaneous. You want to go out and grab a couple beers, like whatever the case may be. $600 is just more than enough to live very comfortably, very, very, very comfortably. Shoot, even $300 a month, for real. Like I said, it all depends on where you're gonna live, and some of the Airbnbs out here offer like the monthly rates. So you could do that. I would actually recommend that you go to an Airbnb or a hotel and get it for an extended period of time, so you can figure out exactly where you want to be. Like, say you want to be up here in Arusha. You can either do it one or two ways. You can either get a hotel in a centralized location and then go visit other parts of town to see which vibe fits you the best. You can go and get an Airbnb or a hotel in each one of these places and stay like over the weekend, or what have you. You just really have to figure out what place you vibe with, and you need to factor that in when you're thinking about moving out to Tanzania. Don't expect to come out here and bam, find a house like that, because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna regret it, because you find out later that you could have found a better deal, a home that's cheaper in a area that fits you better. And like I said before, that was one of my mistakes, is that I jumped into a place way too soon. Like the first day I got to Zanzibar, bam, let's do it. Wrong decision. So yeah, factor all that in, and especially if you're coming with someone. This person asked me, as a single mother of a teenager. Now, it depends on how old your teenager is. Are they of working age? Do they themselves, because kids nowadays, they hustle. Do they have like a source of income that they're generating? I know a couple of kids who have like little online stores. They make t-shirts and stuff like that. Is your kid one of those kids, or are they old enough to do that yet? Will you be solely supporting them? Are they of school age? Because I'm gonna tell you, if they don't have their high school diploma or a GED yet, people are in high school out here until what, 21? Yeah, they're in high school out here until they're 20 or 21 years old, and then they go to college after that. So if your kids are not of graduating age, and if they don't have their high school diploma or their GED, they're probably going to be going to school, okay? And you have to be prepared to pay school fees. And school, it just all depends on whether your child goes to a private school, public school, boarding school, you know, and a lot of kids out here go to boarding school. It's so many factors with a kid out here. And then, you know, with a child, you can't necessarily be as flexible as you would want to be, you know, if you were traveling solo. Now, if you're with smaller children, it might be hard for you to hop around from hotel to hotel or Airbnb to Airbnb. You know, it's a lot traveling with kids. But if you're with a teenager or someone who's a little older and they're with the adventure, then I say go for it. Like, y'all hop around, y'all see what's up with the different spots and, you know, how much you vibe with it. Let's see. What else should you factor in to the move? And how much money you need is just really dependent upon the lifestyle you want to live. You know, do you want to come out to Tanzania seeking a very a rural type of lifestyle? Do you want to live off the grid? Totally doable. Totally doable. Hella easy. Or do you want to party? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to be in a central area where everything is in walking distance? The clubs, the bars, the shops, the everything. Then you're going to be paying a little more if you want to live in a centralized location. And yeah, just like anywhere else in the world, like that you go, you're going to be paying more if you're in a centralized location. Do you want a single family home, like nothing too big and lavish? Or are you okay with a 1-bedroom home? Do you want a 6-bedroom home on the beach? Like, you know, and I don't know. I really can't tell you how much exactly you're gonna need. But a good starting point, I would say, would be, if you're gonna come out here for 6 months, I would say bring nothing less than $5,000 per 6 months you're out here. If you want to live out here for the whole year, I would say $10,000 to $12,000 is more than enough, way more than enough. And this is living a life where if you wanted to go out to eat every day, you could. If you want to pick up, you know, some stuff in the store, if you want to go shopping, you can, you know, go party or whatever. That's living real good. Now, speaking of shopping and stuff, I've been asked a couple of times what type of clothing stores do they have out here, what type of stuff is available, and they have all types of stuff, like anything you could want. They have everything from like high-end, like Louis Vuitton and Fendi stuff, to secondhand stores, like, and everything in between. And the prices are really good. Now, you're going to be paying Fendi prices for Fendi stuff and, you know, stuff like that. But I don't need Fendi, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like nice stuff. And I mean, every once in a while I might splurge and, you know, buy something ultra lavish. But like me, I'm a secondhand store girl, okay? I like to find like just different cool funky stuff that they have, and not everything is secondhand. They have a lot of stores with stuff that's just brand new, and I'm telling you, I found like just the flyest stuff out here, like jackets and a lot of shoes. Now let's speak about the shoes, because I mean, at one point in my life, I was like a low-key sneakerhead, okay? And they have all types of stuff, because I mean, China's right there. Now, they have Jordans, they have Huaraches, they have like all types of stuff for a very reasonable price. Now, I know some of y'all gonna be asking, are they fake? Are they real? And what I've noticed, there are some fakes out there. You just have to know how to identify them, know what you're looking at, you know, stuff like that. But a lot of the time, they'll be like B grade stuff. Like, okay, B grade doesn't necessarily mean like your Jordans are fake. It means that there's a small, tiny defect. Like, I don't know, one of the holes for the shoelaces, instead of them being exactly centered, one might be up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And so they mark that as B grade. And you'll find some stuff like that out here. I personally don't care. Whatever, you know, some people are super particular about stuff like that, but and even that, you can turn that into a business as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there, you have to really be creative when it comes to business opportunities. But yeah, they have all types of shoes out here. They have all types of clothes. Like, I love going shopping. I really do. I haven't been shopping a whole lot, but when I do, it's so fun because you get to find the most unique, flyest stuff out here. It's so fly. But yeah, that's really all I have as far as questions. But yeah, the main thing I want to hit on is, you know, your lifestyle all depends, how much money you need to come out here all depends on the life that you really want to live out here. Like I said, if you want to live a more simple life off the grid, like farming and being self-sustained, then you can totally do that for little of nothing, you know, and just live in peace, man. For real, that's like one of my ultimate goals, one of both of our ultimate goals, and I feel lucky that I have somebody who is on the same wavelength as me, you know, live in a quiet neighborhood with a lot of land and, you know, have our own farm and get us a vervet monkey and, you know, just live in peace and have a lot of beauty surrounding us and a lot of greenery. That's one of the ultimate goals, you know, and you can live like that if you want. You can live in the city, you can live somewhere in between, like how I'm living right now. So, yeah. But I suggest that you do some research. A good website is called numbio.com. I will put a link to that in the bottom. And it will give you a rough price breakdown of the cost of living here in Tanzania. The regions that they have on there, I believe, is Dar es Salaam, Arusha, and Dodoma. I have not been to Dodoma yet. I have not been to Dodoma yet, but I want to go. But yeah, that's really all I got. I feel like I'm rambling on right now, but keep those questions coming, okay? All right, I love y'all. Peace.